This is the end. Bum bum bum. My only friend. The end. Yes, this is the end. You know what? I'm not even gonna do the open today. I'm just gonna go straight up talking, and it's the final episode of the show presents Super Dire World. I've been talking about this for 2 weeks. My final day with the show this morning was sad. To be honest, this is the end wasn't really a song that was in my head. For some reason, I kept hearing Damien Rice's "The Blow His Daughter." Oh, that was weird. I heard a weird noise. It's like, and so it is, just like you said it would be. Anyway, you're gonna probably get a lot of singing from me today. But first, before I get into any of that stuff, I want to give out a quick shout out to Ballast Point for sponsoring my last day. Thank you very much. It's a Friday. Is there a more beautiful sound in the world than a cold beer can opening on a Friday afternoon when you have no more work to worry about? Look at that. Look at that beauty. Oh my god, I'm very excited. Yeah, so thank you very much, Val's. Honestly, I did not expect it. I very much appreciate it. They got me a ton of beer, and I mean a ton of beer. It was like, 48 beer cans total. So much appreciated. Thank you very much. They will be very much enjoyed. I sent a picture of it to some of my buddies, and they were like, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna get fucked up." So yes, thank you very much. Cheers to all of you. Hope you're having a great Friday. And oh, bye. Oh no, sorry. Come by. Goodbye. That's how we. Saludcita a todas. So there you go. Oh man, that tastes delicious. It tastes like freedom. Anyway, yeah. So today was my final day with the show, Rock 105.3, the morning show. It's done. That's it. No more. I'm moving on. For those of you who are wondering what I'm moving on to, it's weird because you've probably been listening to my podcast, and my podcast is what I'm going to keep doing. So things are going to be happening for the future, I guess. I'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about today. And first off, like I said, thank you to Ballast Point. By the way, I did not have to do that. Just like they did not have to give me beers, I did not have to do that. I'm doing that because honestly, it's good beer, and I appreciate it. It was a nice gesture. Also, I want to say thank you to my friend P1 Day One. He got me not only did we get donuts, we talked about this in the P1 podcast. He got me a cake, chocolate cake. It's delicious. I don't want to share it, but I kind of have to. Otherwise, I may not survive. Like, I'm 48 pack of beer and cake. Honestly, this is a good day. This is a good way to celebrate. Yeah, thank you very much to them, and thank you all to P1s who called in this morning. I appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the years of support. I said this before on my video where I said my goodbye, on Instagram, the announcement, and I've gotten nothing but love from P1s for the past 8 years. So it's always been great. I actually got a message from my sister, who was like, "You gotta see all the messages you got on Facebook on the post, blah blah." And I was like, I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait till, let's say, like a day or two, so that everybody who's going to post something will post something. And then I'll like or reply all that. Because otherwise I'm going to have to keep refreshing it. And I can't. I can't. The same thing on Instagram. Apparently that there's a lot of love going around. And I appreciate it. Like I said, it means a lot. I appreciate that my work was valued by the fans. I think that's the most important thing. People want to feel useful. You want to feel like what you're doing is important and what you're doing is valuable. And having fans that always appreciate it means a lot. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep doing more stuff. But instead of doing it for somebody else, I'm going to be doing it for myself. And, again, for the fans, for people who enjoy it. Well, I do stuff because I want to do it and because I like doing it. And if people like it and want to keep watching, then that's awesome. So that's good. So that's, or at least that's always been my, because I never really had to do this podcast. I never really had to do anything. I chose to do it, and I like doing it, and it's been going okay so far. And I want to keep going because I see more potential in it for myself, and I want to take a risk in myself, and I want to invest in myself, and that's the biggest reason here. It's funny, because I've been thinking about this a lot. And today felt like a normal day to me. This week felt like a normal week to me. I just had to get a few more things ready. And it's weird. I'm a weird guy. I don't know if you might have noticed this, but I have this thing, or I have this problem, where kind of big moments just pass me by. I've noticed this. And today, apparently, today was a big moment, I guess, and it was a big moment in my life. But to me, it felt normal. Um, and so I didn't really think of making a big deal out of it. And so I appreciate that other people make a big deal out of it. And so because it reminds me, and I'll give you a perfect example. I noticed this. The day that I noticed this is when I got my car. When I got my first car that I was gonna buy myself. I decided, all right, I'm gonna get this car. I'm gonna go to the dealership and I'm just gonna get it. And my parents insisted on being there. They really wanted to be there. And I was like, why do you want to be there? It's gonna be like just sitting around waiting for paperwork. Like, no, we want to be there. Let us know. Blah blah. So okay, I told them. They were there the whole time. And at the end, they really wanted to take a picture of me in the car, and I didn't get it. Honestly, I was like, I'm just buying something. This is weird. Afterwards, it kind of dawned on me that this is kind of like a big life moment. It's kind of an important moment in life, and to me, it just was like, oh, it's just something else. It's just another day. I just bought something that was more expensive than something else that I never bought before. But apparently, it's a big deal, and it's a big part of life. And it was one of, again, like I said, a big life moment. And another moment of those was like my college graduation. Now, for me, finishing college was a big pain in the ass, and it was a big, long, complicated process. And I'll probably maybe go through it someday because I made some decisions that ended up being complicated. But the point is, I finished. And to me, I was like, I didn't even want to go to the graduation. I didn't want to sit there for a few hours and just wait for shaking hands with people that I don't really know or care about and walk out of there. I'd rather just get my thing in the mail. And my family was like, you gotta go. You gotta go. You're gonna be a part of this. You gotta go. And so I did, and I kind of hated it. I was just like, all right, I'll just get this done with. And it's a big life moment. It's looking back on it, it's like it was a big moment. It was a big and important moment. And it's to me, it was just like, just passed me by. And so I think today is one of those days. It's one of those big important days. Because not only is the end of an era, it's the beginning of something new. But I don't know. To me, it's just felt like a day. And so I don't. I'm weird. I'm weird. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I take everything normally, and so it's a good thing and a bad thing. Good because if in a championship situation, I'm not gonna freeze. The moment won't be like too big for me, and it's a bad thing because I don't really know how to enjoy the moment. And so that's one of my bigger issues in life. I don't know how to enjoy the moment. I don't know how to enjoy things sometimes. I just either suffer through them or retroactively I'm like, oh man, that was nice. Oh, by the way, I just realized I don't even have my logo up here. Hold on. Whoop, nope, messed up. There you go. Anyway, so retroactively, I'm like, man, that was a big moment, and I appreciate afterwards that they were there. I appreciate I appreciate that my parents were there and they took the picture with the graduation. I ended up thinking it was a good thing that I went. And today, just it's weird because it's weird from our perspective, because for the people who are on the radio, we're hanging out with each other, and and we don't get to see the fans that much. We don't get to interact with them that much. The few that call, sure, or the ones that sent messages and stuff like that, but mostly we don't get to see the people, how many people are reaching out. We don't know how many people we're reaching out at that moment. And but when you get to talk to them, when you go to events and stuff like that, they tell you're part of my daily routine. I feel like you're my friends. Like you're there in the car with me every day. And so the reach is bigger than we expected. Well, than we comprehend. We it's weird. I don't know. I hope it's making sense. And so it's nice to know that you're making an impact on people's lives with your work, and hopefully it's a positive one. Well, you hope it's a positive one, and then days like today happen, and you get the messages, and you realize, oh, I did something good. I did something that's appreciated by people, and they think it's valuable, and I think it's valuable, and so overall it's a good thing. I like I said, it's been a nice day. It'll probably hit me maybe later, maybe a few beers later on. But right now, I'm like it's weird. I've been very calm about this whole thing. As soon as I made the decision, as soon as I let him know that I was leaving, I was like, okay, because now it's all up to me. It's up to me to fail or to succeed, and I'm always okay with betting on myself. I'm a risk taker in that sense. So I'm excited. Looking back on my years on the show, I'm very appreciative of my time there because I learned a lot. Sometimes how to do things, sometimes how to not do things. Emily. I'm kidding. Emily's great. And so if I didn't get to say this to them because I'm not that type of person. I'm not the type of person who says like big important things in the moment. I have to afterwards. I'm like, oh, that was a good time to say this. Whoops. So I'll guess I'll say it now to them. Like, you know what? Yeah, they have to. They should listen to this. What the hell? So I learned a lot from the show from Eddie. Years of just by listening to Eddie, you learn how to behave as a professional, how to interview people, how to be a part of this business. Eddie is a pro and a natural at it. So I've learned a lot just by watching him. Not necessarily him being like, this is the way you do it. No, just by watching him, you learn a lot, and I have a lot of respect for him. Sky is an extremely, extremely nice person. I don't. It sometimes it hurts that people hate her so much. I can get it. I get it. She can be annoying sometimes. You want to bash her head against the wall when she doesn't want to eat reasonable things. But she's an extremely kind person, and honestly, that might be her flaw. She might be a little bit too kind, a little bit too nice for her own good. But she was always very, very kind to me, and I have a lot of very, very nice memories with her. She's a motherly in that sense, and so I'm gonna miss her a lot, even though she forgets that I exist. You know what's the problem? And I thought about this. I did my job so well. I learned this and as a buzzer, because for those of you who don't know, a buzzer is the person at the restaurant where you just clear the tables and maybe serve water and stuff like that. And so when that's a support role. And when you're in a support role, the best thing you could be is invisible. So if you have a buzzer and you never notice him, that means that you got the best buzzer in the world. And that's what, when I was a buzzer, that's what I tried to be. I didn't want the customers to notice me, and I didn't want the servers to notice me, because that means that I was doing my job so fast, so efficiently, that they didn't even feel I was there. And because to me, that's a good buzzer. That's your support role. You're not there to be like the main attraction, you're there to be support. In the radio show, I felt similar. Like I was a support role. I was in the background. I did the stuff behind the scenes. I did the editing. I did all that stuff. And my job is to make sure that to be invisible, to all that stuff to work so well and so efficiently that it felt almost invisible. And unfortunately, sometimes I did it so well that they actually did forget I was there. Because things, when things are going well, you don't notice things are bad. When things go bad, you're like, who the fuck did that? Anyway. So that's kind of the way that I saw my role, to just do it that. So I don't really blame her. I was mainly in my room doing like all this, well, in the phone screener room doing all my stuff, and so I get it. I tend to stay out of their way, because to me it's like you're on the air. Why am I going to be interrupting what's happening on the air? What's going on the air is more important than me wanting to get in there and just talking about, I don't know, Marvel or whatever. And so even though many times I wanted to. So I don't know. That's always been my philosophy when you're that role. When I'm the main guy, I'm the main guy. But when I'm support and I'm hired to be support, that's what I'm gonna be. Like with games. When I hosted the games, I was like, okay, I'm here, I'm hosting, I'm gonna make my presence felt. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so Sky, she's fantastic. Great, like I said, very generous person, very, very kind. Emily is a wild card. Emily is a very interesting person, because she's kind of her own worst enemy. Like she gets in her head so much. She can do so much, and she brings so much to the table, but she gets in her own head, and it's hysterical. It's great to watch, because I know that when I needed Emily to do something, she'd do it, but she's gonna definitely suffer through it. And I didn't mind helping her out, because sometimes you see her suffering through it. So it's funny, because like I said, she does stumble through stuff, but if she could just get that thing under control, just be a little bit more organized, her life's gonna be way easier. But again, I don't know. And Thor's an interesting cat. I know that a lot of people think that me and Thor don't get along. We just don't really hang out that much, but we had a really good working relationship. We understood each other really well. We understood, that's you like this things, you like this things. This is how it works, and we worked really well for a really long time together. It's one of those things that it's like, well, we don't have that much in common, because let's say I don't care that much about the Giants, and I like, when I hang out with my friends, I like going out drinking, and it's like, all right, well, he doesn't. So it's one of those things that I guess because of that, people think that we don't like each other, but I like him fine. Actually, I have a lot of respect for Thor. Um, like if you see his story on paper, Thor from I don't know 15 years ago he should not be as successful a person as he is right now. You'd be like, what? How the hell did that happen? So he made it happen for himself, and I respect that a lot. He has a lot of self control, and sure he has his issues, but overall I think he's a very impressive person. Like he's overcome a lot, and most of those things were his own demons, but still he had to overcome them. And so I have a lot of respect for him. I would never say that to his face because I don't want to go to his big head. But yeah, I also learned a lot from him, from the way that he handles certain things, the way that he just doesn't care about certain things, and the way that he's just a massive troll. Sometimes he just does stuff to annoy people. So overall, okay. I don't know why some people think that I wasn't happy working there. The issue and why I stayed so long there is because I liked working there. I liked the people there. Sometimes we have issues like with everybody, but I felt like mostly the issues were my own. Like I was not happy getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day because I've never been a morning person. I tried because I like the show. I like the stuff, and I think it could go really far if given the opportunity to. But I don't know. It is how it is. But anyway, I think that's a good place to stop. I will talk about more about the future and what's gonna happen with this show and everything, and what more I'm gonna stop, what more I'm gonna keep doing starting next week. I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna do something starting on Monday. I want to hit the ground running. Like my gut feeling is like, all right, Monday, boom, 4 shows, because I want to start doing 4 shows a day and 4 different shows. Sometimes I'd repeat. I don't know, but my sister recommended like, hey, maybe you should take a few days off. You know, just relax a few days. You haven't done that in a really long time. Yeah, I went to Vegas, but I was doing something over there. Just take days off. Don't feel guilty about it. Relax. I'm not sure about it. I don't think so because again, I want to hit the ground running. But I'll play that by ear. And so starting again, this is the last episode that will be appear on the show presents Super Dario World. That one's dead after today. It's done. The show will continue on Super Dario World. That's just Super Dario World. You can find it everywhere. iHeartRadio app, iTunes or Apple Podcasts now. On YouTube, Super Dario World. The logo is the letters SDW, and there's a Nile monitor in the background. Like it's it's a green lizard with the letters SDW in front of a blue background. It's pretty easy to spot and pretty easy to differentiate from the other one. So that's the one that's going to continue. I will be updating you on everything for the future there. I will be doing 2 podcasts in English and then the same 2 in Spanish. I will probably be doing game streams, video game streams, because I don't know. I want to do more stuff. I want to explore more stuff. I'm gonna be doing a vlog. I'm working on the Vegas footage. I don't know. Well, I've mainly separated. I haven't really actually started editing it, and so I've been doing. The point is, I'm doing stuff, and I'm gonna be doing more stuff, and hopefully you'll join me. Hopefully this is only the beginning. Honestly, it's only the beginning, because I'm gonna have a lot more free time to work on stuff. I might go back to school really quick because I want to take a course on to get my drones license, because I've been studying for the drone exam. It's one of the most brutal stuff I've ever read in my life. It's extremely boring. I mean, it's painfully boring. And so I fall asleep. So maybe if it's like, all right, I paid for this class, I kind of have to go. Maybe I'll be a little more motivated. But so far, it's just painfully boring because it has really nothing to do with flying. In the operating the device, it has to do with stupid like aeronautic stuff, and it's boring. Anyway, so I'll be doing that. And like I said, I'll update on everything next week. I'm aiming for Monday, but I don't know. It depends on how tired I am. And this happens to me a lot. When the show goes on break, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take the whole week and I'm gonna be just producing like crazy, and then I just die. Because usually since I don't really take time off, when I take time off, it just hits me like all the fatigue or the sickness or whatever just hits me at once. I'm like, ugh. But I don't know, things are gonna be different. I'm looking forward to not waking up at 5 a.m. anymore. Actually, yeah. My plan is on Monday, I'm going to wake up whenever I wake up. That's it. I'm gonna sleep in until I sleep in. I'm gonna try to get a new routine on. I want to change my internal clock that way. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, big things are coming. Hopefully, I have a few months to explore a few things. Hopefully, you'll join me. Hopefully, it'll get big and successful, and hopefully, you know, it won't be just like a huge waste of time, and I'll have to get another job somewhere else. I don't know. I'm taking a risk on me. So hopefully, like I said, you'll join me, and hopefully, it'll be something good. So as always, thank you for listening. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario SDW and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. And like I said, this is the final episode of the show presents Super Dario World. To all the P1s, to everybody that I worked with, to everybody who I interacted with while I was there in the station. I really enjoyed my time there. I appreciated you. It means a lot. Maybe not be the best at expressing it, but it meant a lot, my time there. And I appreciate all the kind words and appreciate that you enjoyed my work. So thanks again. Quick update. Eric looks like he's way better. It looks like he may be leaving the hospital tomorrow. So for those of you who cared, there's an update on that. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.